guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. As you notice, I've taken the picture down behind me. Whoever's on the other side of this wall in this apartment keeps putting things up, pictures or something, and banging on it, and it kept falling down. So I took my artwork down so I could at least not have to worry about it falling behind me constantly. Also, I will be uploading a video on my Better Bachelor B-sides here, over here on YouTube, and over here on Locals. I'll be uploading some updates on my land, more clearing, and the house site getting prepped, and also Walker racing around and enjoying the leaves. So make sure to check that out as well. Links are down below. Okay, so jumping right into it, make shaming great again. Look, here's the thing. So this is a 37-year-old body positivity coach who died of a heart attack, of course, because this is what happens when you're at 840 pounds. And, you know, look, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want people to be overweight. I don't want people to be unhealthy. I'm one of the first ones to say, look, I'm probably 30 pounds overweight. But if somebody comes up to me, and some of you guys have commented on this before, and you're like, dude, we like you, man. Lose a little weight, trim up, stay healthy. I don't come back and say, oh, you need to be positive about me and accept me for who I am. I'm like, you're right. You know, I am probably 30 pounds heavy. I do need to clean that up a little bit. But we've removed any bad stigma from anybody, and so bad actors are out there being cheered on, and they're stunning and brave and wonderful, and it's taken them right to the grave at this point. And this isn't a story that I want to, like, it's funny. I'm sorry, it is just kind of funny, the body positivity movement. You can't lie your way into being okay or healthy or successful. My phone is going off here. Let me silence that thing. It's not like I hear from anybody very often, but hey, you know, miracles can happen. So anyway, main story here, and this is from Zero Hedge, star of Body Positivity show dead from a heart failure at age 37. Now, I don't know if she, had other recent medications, perhaps ones that were mandated by the government that helped her along, who knows. But it's game over. Did telling her, oh, you're stunning and brave, did that help her really? Does it help anybody really? Nope. It's by Tyler Durden. The body positivity movement, at least in the case of one woman, has been highly promoted by every area of the entertainment media and among social justice activists based on a singular claim. You can be healthy at any size. And I guess they have an acronym for it, HAES. The claim has inspired numerous efforts to normalize obesity in American society as not only socially acceptable, but also medically acceptable. And as a matter of fact, you'll see a lot of these overweight women are now having business cards printed up that says, and they hand it to the doctor or the nurse before they're, I don't know, and it says, please do not weigh me unless, extremely necessary, et cetera, et cetera. They're literally shaming doctors out of trying to help them. While political activism in science is nothing new and has been present in everything from climate change to rhetoric and pandemic response, fat positivity disinformation in scientific observation is perhaps the most egregious and widespread. It attempts to ignore or dismiss decades of studies on the negative effects of obesity and asserts that being grossly overweight has minimal or no health consequences. The argument is often debunked by the very people that tend to promote it and encourage it, as they die incredibly young from health problems that are usually reserved for the elderly. Jamie Lopez, star of the body positivity-based television show Super Size Salon, was an advocate of a beauty at any size philosophy, more so than a health at any weight ideal. However, social justice proponents often held up her example as justification for the HAES lifestyle. She's now dead, suffering from heart failure at age 37. Look, here's the thing. Number one, no matter how much you try to shame men, the vast majority of men are not attracted to this. Yes, there are some outliers, just like there are some outliers of women that I've read articles on where they say, I'm really into little people, like very small guys, like the 3-foot tall guys. Anyway, the little ones of the world. There are some women that are really into that. There are some guys that want to be like a roach humping a potato. They want to be a regular sized guy climbing all up on this stuff. And I say more power to them. And if you want to be overweight, if you're heavy and you're fine with it, I have no shame on that. Like, that's great. I'm happy that you're happy at any size that you are. I'm not that guy. You do you. But when we're going around and we're promoting it, and instead of saying, maybe it's time at 840 some odd pounds or 880, whatever she was, maybe it's time to, let's look into your health a little bit. This high mortality rate, etc. Nope, can't do that. Can't talk about it. Forbidden subject. Matter of fact, I don't even know if this thumbnail will go up on YouTube. I'll probably have to change it. But of course, I won't have to change it on Locals, betterbachelor.locals.com, where all the news goes. To be fair, Lopez, she did attempt to lose weight, dropping over 400 pounds in a year. That is great. But going from 800 pounds to 400 pounds is still not enough to prevent the myriad of health problems associated with obesity. Undoubtedly, body positivity proponents will try to gloss over her cause of death, but fact remains that health and weight are indelibly entwined. While beauty might be treated as socially subjective by some people, studies show beauty concepts are actually biologically ingrained. Health standards are not subjective. And I actually have an article I'm going to read after this. It says, very honest men explain why they don't like to date fat women. We'll read that because that is a thing too. And it's important to know because here's the thing, all right? Women seem to think it's okay to shame a man if he's not tall. Man can't change that. Women certainly shame men if they don't make enough or have a high enough education for them to deem worthy of dating. Hey, okay, we get it. Some guys, that's why they do want to make money. Other guys are like, nope, not having it. Guys are judged all the time, and I don't have the article pulled up, but it's kind of famous around this type of video world, this type of community. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for, where it says, body positivity for women. It's like why bigger women don't like fat men, or why big women don't like fat men. And they don't use the same word. They'll call the men fat, but for them, they're just big and bold and beautiful. The double standard. That's always what it is. Let me jump over to this other article here. I do want to read this. Very honest men explain why they don't like to date fat women. Now, here's the thing, right? You look at this woman and she might be overweight, but she's also a beautiful woman. Will she get attention from men? Will she get dates? Yeah, definitely. No problems. But even good-looking guys, if they're a bigger guy, they have a lot more difficulty. Why? Because women have more choices. That's just the society we live in today. And it's not necessarily more choices to get married or to date, but it's certainly more choices as far as getting laid. And when a woman's sleeping with a better quality man than herself, she's gonna learn, or at least think she's learning, that her value is higher than it is. And so they're not going to give overweight or shorter guys as many opportunities. She says, guys don't like me because I'm fat. Well, I don't like them because they're judgmental. Okay, that's fine. But while that's true, all of the fat women in my life have at least one story of men explaining that they could never date a fat woman. It's never easy to be rejected for any reason, but fat women get used to it in their interactions with men. Sadly, because it seems to be more socially acceptable to express disgust with fat than it is to express other complaints about a person's physical appearance. In our culture, people are taught, unfortunately, that being fat is bad. And this is the whole point, okay? She says, it's never easy to be rejected, but I had to get used to it because it's more socially acceptable to express disgust with fat than it is other complaints of a physical person's appearance. Oh, really? So men don't get height shamed all the time on every dating app that says you must be 6 foot tall? Men don't get shamed all the time for saying women want a full head of hair, or some women even say, I want a bald guy, or some women say, I want a muscular guy, or a guy with a six-pack, or a guy that's hung like a Shetland pony. There's always something. You notice they never write articles here about why it's bad that women they want 6 foot tall on a dating app. They never write an article about how it's bad that women income shame men and just, hey, there are great guys that make less money. They never do those articles. They'll only do the articles about the ones where men say, I have a preference too, as well. They'll say, oh, well, that's bad. So women can be judgmental, but men can't have any preferences. Got it. And we know the game, right, at this point. She says, it isn't bad at all. A fat person is just worthy of love, respect, and kindness as any other person. I agree wholeheartedly. So do low-income men. So do men that maybe aren't physically good looking. So are men that are overweight. So are men that have other challenges, aren't tall, whatever. But again, you never, ever, ever hear any of those articles out there. It's because they don't really care. They care about themselves getting judged, but they have no problems passing out judgment to others. As a matter of fact, the video that I'm going to do, I didn't pull this thumbnail up. I'm doing a live stream today at 4 o'clock over on Locals. And I'll chop this up and I'll put portions of it over here on YouTube, but I won't be doing this the whole thing. Courtney Ryan does a video, and it says average women break down their perfect man. And I don't know, I think it's like 4 or 5 women. And they all say how much men need to make and how tall they need to be and how old they're looking for and all these other things. And these women are decidedly average. But everything they're looking for is better. And if a guy came back around and said, hey, you know something? You're looking for Henry Cavill, right? I'm Henry Cavill, but you're not good enough for me. The women would scream, this is so unfair. But they'll turn right around and they'll come out with this grocery list of things that 99.9% of men, these women don't think are good enough to date them. Now that we got that out of the too technical disclaimer, here's what they had to say. Why don't you date fat women? They say fat is subjective. Thick is not fat. That's literally what I just said. Men like how women do not want to date a man, much like how women do not want to date a man shorter than them, men don't want to date a woman who weigh more than them. Fair assessment. I am of that group. Someone else says, I grew up fat and worked extremely hard to maintain a healthy weight. I know firsthand how being fat wreaks havoc on your self-esteem and social presence. I would also be concerned about having a partner putting herself at risk for a variety of weight-related complications, especially in the long term. Can you hate on him? He's saying, I was there. I fixed it, and I know what it did to me and how I felt. I don't want to date somebody like that. I think that's pretty fair. Somebody else says folds of fat are just not attractive. I agree. Say for instances of diagnosable and often treatable problems with metabolism, a fat body is often a sign of disregard for one's health. Mind and body are not two separate entities. They are linked. You can't harm your body and expect your mind to be firing on all cylinders. A fat body can, but does not always, imply laziness, short-sightedness, and a kind of disregard for one's holistic well-being. I agree. A woman who is fat clearly just doesn't care for herself. Being fat can be a serious health problem. I'm skinny and dating a fat woman would look weird. You can't shame that guy because women say all the time, I'm 5'10" and I don't want to date a 5'6" guy or a guy that's even my height because when I put on heels, it would look weird. We're told to accept that. Living a healthy lifestyle is important to me. Fat women don't lead healthy lives. I agree. I really do. Chubby can be cute, but fat is ugly. I've broken up with women who let themselves go. It's my job to earn the money, and it's her job to look good for me and for myself, or for herself. Again, you know, if he's going to be the bread earner, he wants someone to look at that he is attracted to. Her job is to be attractive and to be feminine and to be, you know, available to him, whether it's to go out to dinner or whatever other activities. If he's bringing in the money, you can say that's an old school way of looking at it, but I agree with it. And he's not going to be like, well, I'm doing all the work and I'm going home to somebody I'm not attracted to. Someone else says, I can't stand lazy people. If she can't be bothered to exercise for 30 minutes, that to me is a sign of true laziness. And let's be honest, if we look at these women, there's no long walks happening here. As a matter of fact, at 800 pounds, I'd be surprised she could walk anywhere. And this is why I say, you know something, I think there's ways as a society we can touch on this without being assholes to everybody. You don't have to necessarily shame somebody, but you kind of do. You know, a lot of times, whether it's in my comments or any place else, like I said, you guys have said, hey man, you know, getting those chipmunk cheeks in, time to look at that diet. Is that shaming me? Maybe a little bit, but it's also, hey man, like, I like to see you healthy, or you're not as nice to look at because you're getting fatter. And I like a good square jawline. And I don't know if it's female or male or who's writing this stuff, but you know something? And then it's up to me to say, you know what? I like my ice cream more than that comment or whoever commented on it. But when you have loved ones, when you have fans, when you have maybe family, shouldn't they be able to say, hey, you need to clear up your life a little bit? And doesn't the same thing apply to maybe guys that or women that are caught on illicit substances, maybe that are drinking too much, maybe that aren't hitting the gym, maybe that are eating too much? Here's a big one, maybe that are sleeping around too much or not settling down, or maybe their expectations are too ridiculous in the dating world. Isn't it better to say to somebody, hey man, you're out of check on this one. Like you're falling outside the norm. You're starting to fall into, quote, the extreme category. That's not good. Reel it back in. If you hear that from enough people, maybe that's enough to kind of rein in society. Guys, if you're here on YouTube, join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. $39 or $36 for a year membership right now, or the first month for $3 with an extra month for free thrown in, just so you'll come over and maybe give me some support, check out the forums, all that good stuff. And that's where we do the full videos, live streams, and movie night coming up this weekend. We're going to be doing Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie, Christmas Vacation. I'm going to be eating a one-chip challenge, one of these 2 million Scoville chips. I'll be doing that for the live stream as well. And it's going to be for supporters only. So come over and make sure to check it out. And you get to see the dating profile of the day as well.